Hey, ladies. Welcome back to Live Again for You. And previously, we were talking about the journal that I started in 2006. And I entitled the journal, for those of you who didn't hear the previous video clips, I entitled the journal Preparing for Takeoff. And just to recap, this journal was started in a time of deep despair and distress in my life. And little did I know, whenever it was titled Preparing for Takeoff, that I was actually preparing to take off and be released from the situation that I found myself in. So today I'm going to talk about the journal entry that I titled Me, Myself, and I. And this journal entry was March 27th, 2006 at 10:52 a.m. All right, I wrote this past Saturday, which would have been 3/25/2006, the Lord had a brief conversation with me. Saturday morning, I awakened to the same weighted cloud that had managed to gather and hover over me. The same cloud that I had fell asleep beneath the night before. The heaviness had grown greatly. A subtle annoyance became an unbearable force, a force that battled with my thoughts, my judgment, my sound mind, a force that warred with my being. I had reached a point of crossroad in my internal struggle. The crossroad, I have learned, is the point of major life-changing decision. It is the point that you reach on your journey when you choose to keep traveling in your dis-ease or you choose to take another route. Personally, I have allowed my identity to become tainted and available for edit by people, places, and things that wasn't insured to drive on my life's highway. Oh, what a mess I have made. There was a major pileup. Everything crashed head on. The wreckage was all around me. Okay, now I wrote this again on March 27th, 2006. And today's date is actually June the 30th, 2020. All right, so what I want to talk about in this clip is the point of crossroad in your internal struggle. All right, it's very important to know that the dis-ease or the hopelessness, whatever the situation you're finding yourself in, there will be an internal struggle. And this struggle stems from many different things. I mean, some of us, the struggle can be pride, shame, grief, hiddenness. You want to hide the situation and you don't want nobody to know, because everybody looking at you like you got it all together and you want everybody to think that you have it all together, which in reality, you're being destroyed on the inside. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to tell you this, 9 times out of 10, you think you have it all together and you think you're holding it down and you're hiding. But guess what? Most people, I ain't going to say most people, but a lot of people, they see. They already know. And they may not know every aspect of what you're going through, but they know that you're going through something. So the internal struggle is what kept me bound a long time, because people didn't really know. I didn't think people knew what was going on, and a lot of people didn't, but some people did. Okay, so the internal struggle of me not wanting to, number one, expose my life, that it was my business, so and then when I would say little things here and there, like for the instance in my marriage, in my toxic marriage, when I would say stuff here and there, people really loved my ex-husband. Okay, they They just really loved him. He was funny, you know what I'm saying? He was a good person to be around, but during that time he just wasn't a good, husband for the long term. So many people would like question me, like I didn't really know, or I wasn't really assessing what was going on properly. So people would like question me like I was making the wrong decisions. So I learned to just kind of like pull back a little bit, and I had to learn to get to the point to where it became me, myself, and I'm the one who had to make the decisions to either stay or leave near the end. Now, in this point in 2006, I was a long way from not being in my marriage anymore, because like I said in the previous clip, I didn't get a divorce until 2015. So this is 2006. But this wasn't this journal and preparing for takeoff wasn't to put me in the process of getting a divorce and all that kind of stuff, of walking away. It put me in the process mentally. Look, do this around my head. It put me in the process to mentally assess my thoughts, to get rid of the erroneous thinking, to get rid of outside people, places, and things that was influencing my decisions. The preparing for takeoff is the process where you prepare yourself. I had to prepare me. I had to prepare myself. I had to prepare, me, myself, and I had to prepare so that once I was propelled, I could like sustain the momentum. So, we find ourselves at that point of crossroad. And it's the point to where we're going to stay in the dis-ease, or we're going to change our routes. So, it's very important. It's very important that you be in your present moments. You have to be in your present moments, because whenever you're depressed and you're, like despondent and stuff, you're not in your present moment. You're thinking about the past, and you're thinking about the future, and you're thinking about the past, and you're thinking about the future. Yeah, you're feeling the dis-ease in the moment, but you're not doing anything about that moment. You're not doing anything in that present moment, because guess what? It's only in this moment right here. It's only in this moment right here where you can change something. You can't change anything that happened in the past, but you can make it right here in this moment, in this present moment, so that your future will be better. And guess what? In your present moment, you can't do anything about your future, but prepare for it and live for it, for that next moment. But you can't, but this moment right here is the operative moment. This moment right here is your opportunity. This moment right here is the moment where you have to choose whether you're going to live or die. It's this moment right here where you're going to choose whether you're going to be respected or disrespected. It's this moment here where you're going to choose whether you're going to do it or not do it. Okay, you couldn't do that in that past moment, because that past moment is not an opportune time anymore. You can't do it. You can't say, oh, I'm going to do it tomorrow, unless you're preparing for that takeoff. But in this moment here, you have to begin to make the right choices at that crossroad of major decision making. And guess what? Whenever you're in, I'm mainly like, me personally, I'm mainly like speaking of a toxic marriage, which I've been in situations before my marriage that still could merit the same procedures. But some of you, it may not be a toxic marriage. It could be a bad job. It could be anything. It could be anything. Okay. So in any moment or any situation, you still have to prepare for takeoff so that you can sustain that momentum, so that you can sustain and make it to the next destination in peace, so you won't be drawn back into the toxic situation. So yeah, that crossroad is that major point of decision, of life changing decisions. So yeah. Wait a minute, hold on. Let me just make sure there's nothing else that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, let's talk about the heaviness. The heaviness had grown greatly. A subtle annoyance became an unbearable force. Y'all, heaviness is a beast. Literally, heaviness is a demonic beast. Okay, and as long as we lay there, that spirit is gonna just like depress you. It's gonna press you down. As long as you lay there, and I ain't saying just like laying there on the bed. I'm just saying stay there, complacent. Stay there and let that demon bully you. As long as you let it bully you, guess what? It's going to bully you. And heaviness, it doesn't now there's chronic heaviness where the person is totally just like downcast, and you can just look at a person and see that they are like totally downcast. But then you have that subtle heaviness. You have the subtle heaviness that is just like if you standing up under a little ledge, and it just can constantly just like drop that water just on your head, boom, 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 and you just can't do nothing about that drip. That's what subtle is, because it's there and it's undeniable. Boom, boom. And it's not all the time, but it's consistent. Boom, boom. That's that subtle heaviness. So, you have to like fight that. You have to counter that heaviness and get out from under that cloak of heaviness. And the way that you're going to do that is that you begin to hope again, is that you begin to like look at the light and say, hey, you know what? There's hope. There is a chance. There is opportunity. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to stop being a victim. I'm going to stop crying. I'm going to stop taking the punches, and I'm going to start throwing them punches back. Not physically, but you're going to start turning the tables. You're going to turn the tables. You're going to turn the tables. Make sure you're not in a physical situation unless some man or woman, to men watching, not women and women, but to men watching, if somebody is like punching you and you need to like punch their lights out real quick to get away, but don't stay and just tussle. Don't stay and just like go back and forth with nobody in no fighting battles, okay? Because that can get really dangerous. And yeah, so let's do this, man. Like I said, me, myself, and I had to start thinking about me, myself, and I couldn't think about the person that I'm trying to set the boundary toward. You can't like pacify the same person that you're trying to set a boundary with, because it's confusing. So it's a blurred line. So whenever you need to set a boundary, you have to set a hard boundary. You can't care about their tears. You can't care about them whining, because anything that you set a boundary against, they're going to whine. They're going to kick and scream to try to get you to come back into compliance. So yeah, y'all, let's just do what we need to do to keep preparing for takeoff. And stay tuned, and I will come back again with another clip. But hope all is well, and I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and share.